Like most warm-blooded people, I love the brand Porsche. I love their sports cars, but not everyone can actually make a 911 fit into their lifestyle. If you have a family, yeah, it's a little bit tough. And for years I've said a Porsche sport utility really is almost perfect, especially for our family, because it blends performance of a sports car, yet you have the utility of a sport utility in a premium package. In fact, someone asked me, which one would you pick? You know what? If I didn't have growing kids, I would definitely like to have a Macan GTS. That's one of my favorites. Man, it's like driving a sports car. However, it's a little bit on the small side, so I would say the Cayenne. Now, a lot of people are waiting for the new Cayenne Electric, which will be out very, very soon. However, not everyone is ready to dive into a full battery electric vehicle, which is why I think this vehicle behind me, which is the Cayenne E-hybrid, really does hit the sweet spot. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but when you order your Porsche, there are so many a la carte options you can actually get. You can literally double the price of your vehicle. This one behind me here is equipped with about 20 different options, over $30,000 of options. So today we are not only going to tell you about this brand new 2026 Cayenne E-hybrid, but we're going to break it down into 3 sections: exterior, interior, and performance options, to see what you really get for your money. So let's go. Starting right with the paint, this is Quartzite Gray Metallic. This is a $910 option. This Cayenne is equipped with the Sport Design exterior package, so it gives you a more aggressive look. Mainly, it eliminates a lot of the two-tone black and actually gives you color-matched bumper in the front. Looks quite aggressive. We also have around the wheels, it's color matched on the bottom as well. And this will run you $4,110. The exterior package in high gloss black, which is around the windows here, will run you $450. The black aluminum roof rails will run you $940. To make your winter mornings a little bit easier, this is equipped with a heated windshield. That'll be $710, please. These are Cayenne exclusive design wheels of 21 inches, and they'll run you $3,540. Behind the wheels, you get 6 piston calipers up front, 4 piston in the rear, and if you want, you can opt for the green calipers for no extra charge as well. You can get your E-hybrid badging here in green as well. For $660, you can make your Porsche logo black, very stealth-like. For $1,090, you'll get the high gloss dark bronze exhaust tips. In case you forget what you're driving at nighttime, you can get the under-door puddle lamps for $450. Our second segment is the interior of this Cayenne E-hybrid and its options. But before we get to that, let's just say that this interior, even without options, is quite nice for sure. I love the screens of how they've actually really, especially for the driver's display, you know, gone are analog gauges, which is unfortunate, but I get it. You know, it's easier to actually package these screens now, and what Porsche has done with this driver display is absolutely outstanding. Absolutely love it. The graphics are so clear, but it's just integrated as part of the design of the vehicle, as is the middle screen as well. 12.3-inch wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. We have a 360 camera, and now you can even get a passenger screen, a 10-inch screen on that side if you want. So very, very clean looking in here. Let's get to some options now. So the second most expensive option of the interior of this Cayenne E-hybrid is the leather. It's a full leather interior. It's two-tone, it's black and chalk, and it's going to run you $4,770 for this leather interior, but it does look the part, so it looks like money. For a little bit more branding, the headrests have the embossed Porsche emblem on it. That's going to run you $410. We also have the air quality system. That's $530, and that's going to monitor your air, make sure you have nice clean air to breathe in here. Next up, we have the GT Sports steering wheel with heat, and that's going to be $370. It seems like a bargain. And the last thing that we have on here, which is the most expensive, which is a package, and that is the Premium Plus package. So that gives you this big panoramic roof that we have here. We get 4-zone climate control, we get Bose audio, We get 14-way power seats with memory for both passenger and the driver, ventilated front seats and heated front and rear seats. And on the outside, you also get the LED matrix headlamps. Add them all together and the interior options come out to $14,250. These are Canadian dollars, by the way. This is a Canadian spec car. So make sure if you aren't living in Canada, check with your local Porsche website to see how much it is. But they're very, very similar. Just do the conversion. Okay, the heart of the Cayenne E-hybrid under the hood is a turbocharged 3-liter V6, and that puts out about 300 horsepower. But when you match it to the electric motor that this has, you get 463 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. And that's matched to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And what I love about this system is that electric motor is housed right by the transmission. So when you're actually driving an electric car or an EV mode, you're actually going through using the drivetrain instead of just using an electric motor in itself. So it's just kind of in between. It's actually quite a simple setup, but it's very engaging. It just has a great feel to it. And I've said this right from the very first e-hybrids. This is the latest generation of it. Now, a big difference of this new generation e-hybrid though is the size of the battery. You've went from the teens all the way up to 25.9 kilowatt hours now for that battery, which is underneath that cargo area. The disadvantage though is that it does take up some of the cargo area. So if you want to compare this to a non-e-hybrid, this does have a little bit less carrying capacity. We're driving it right now in e-power, and we can go all the way up to about 140 kilometers an hour. So about 70 miles an hour on just electricity alone. Range, because of the larger battery now, has increased. So you're gonna get like around 50 miles or about 75 kilometers, and I've found that to be pretty accurate on the driving that we've done. It's all going to depend on your style of driving, how fast you're going to drive. But the beauty of the PHEV, why I say this is a sweet spot, is there's a lot of different reasons. First of all, sometimes, hey, I like to have a more dynamic drive. Well, with this, you're not losing that. You turn that drive mode button into Sport Plus even. You've got great response on here. Not only that, we've hopped onto the freeway. I could hop into the HOV lane because this is a plug-in hybrid. It's so good. Plus, you have a sport response button. So if I hit this button, for 20 seconds, we have sport response, and that's going to give you maximum everything. But a lot of times you may be in, rush hour traffic or something like this. You don't need to be burning gas. Guess what? Go into e-power, or you can go to hybrid. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. You also have a couple different other modes. You can actually save your electricity, or you can actually charge your battery using the gas engine. I normally just leave it into EV, and when it runs out, it's just gonna go into hybrid. And if I really want to carve some canyon roads or something like that, I'm going to put into Sport or Sport Plus, and that's going to adjust the suspension, which is what we're going to get to next. Every 2026 Cayenne comes standard with Porsche's Active Suspension Management System, PASM, and that features Porsche's new 2-chamber, 2-valve technology. So to make it simple, this means the suspension can independently adjust how it absorbs bumps and control body motion at the same time. So that gives you both better comfort and sharper handling as well. The 2 air chambers allow the system also to switch between soft and firm settings on the fly. So at low speeds, it glides over the roads. And when you push it though, in Sport Plus, it just tightens everything up and you get a lot less body roll. Overall, it's a big step forward. You get more comfort, better precision, and a wider range between relaxing cruising and dynamic performance. And also with the air suspension, you can also raise and lower the vehicle. So if you need to go off-road, you can raise it up, or go into Sport Plus, it's going to go all the way down as low as it can go. Now, this is one of the biggest differences between, I would say, an average vehicle and a more expensive performance vehicle, or a luxury vehicle even, that it's how sophisticated the suspension is. And that makes all the difference. when it comes to how confident you feel when you're actually maneuvering, whether it's an evasive maneuver or you're pushing the vehicle to its, closer to its limits. And it just feels so much better with body control. Even if you go over some speed humps, that's a good test. And just how it actually regulates and controls the suspension it's very, very impressive on some of these vehicles. And this new system is great. It really is. So that adaptive air suspension will run you $2,720. The next option we have is rear axle steering. It is what it actually sounds like. It can actually turn those back wheels up to 5 degrees in the same direction or opposite direction, depending if you're going fast or slow. So you can actually, turn sharper and rotate the vehicle easier at a higher speed, but at slower speeds, it's going to reduce that turning circle. It's great for parking lots. And I even noticed it backing into my driveway that this definitely has a sharper turning radius for sure. But besides that, everything else is standard, including the level 2 charger. This also has a built-in 11.2 kilowatt charger in it, so it will actually charge very quick. And that's what you really want, especially for a 25 kilowatt hour battery, which is fairly large for a plug-in hybrid. So after driving this for a week, I really still think this is the sweet spot, in premium mid-size SUVs, but not only that, in the Cayenne family. Are there quicker ones and more powerful? Absolutely. But this one is just right in the middle. It's the base E-hybrid. So if you want to compare this to the non-hybrid Cayenne on the base trim, biggest difference, power. You get a lot more horsepower and torque and performance with this E-hybrid. So you really do get your cake and eat it too. The only compromise, once again, as I said, a little bit of reduced cargo area. That's it. This will run you $9,000 more than the regular Cayenne. I think, when you're spending $100,000, what's another $9,000? I'd say definitely go for this E-hybrid. Once again, it is the sweet spot. If you compare this to the Cayenne S, so that is the non-hybrid, and that's with the V8 engine, guess what? The horsepower is essentially the same. Performance is almost identical. In fact, actually at the higher end for acceleration, this is actually even quicker. You have a little reduced top speed on the E-hybrid, but we don't have an Autobahn here, so that's not gonna matter. And the Cayenne S will run you $3,000 more than this Cayenne E-hybrid. So I think that's a no-brainer as well. But the Cayenne is not going to be inexpensive. This one will start at 111,000 Canadian dollars. And if we add up all the options that we have on this one, that's $31,000 of options. So the total of this Cayenne E-hybrid, if you include freight and PDI and all those other fees, before tax is about $149,000. Yeah, no one ever said Porsche is inexpensive, right? This is something that people aspire to own. No one needs a Porsche, but everybody wants a Porsche, and I can definitely see why. This Cayenne E-hybrid, especially the way that it's outfitted here, it's the perfect blend. You get the everyday utility in a sports car package. What more would you want? That's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Are there any options that you would actually skip or add? Because there are a lot more that you can add on this thing. So hope you enjoyed the video. Ciao.